Welcome everybody to the Backstage Pass today. I'm with Nick Magill-Diaz. Nick, thank you for being on the show. A little different today. Corbin has now found a new job, so I will be taking over now for the Backstage Pass. But Diaz, thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Just kind of starting off. I mean, you played D3 hockey at Curry College. Explain how that time was in collegiate hockey, because I know the system for hockey in college is a lot different than, like, let's say football.
Yeah, no, it is a little different. I think D3 hockey is still probably some of the top tier hockey that there is to play, especially in college. I mean, D1 obviously is going to be better, but D3 it's right there. Like, there's a ton of D1 transfers every year. But I was fortunate enough to go out in Boston, and I love that city. I fell in love with it. The guys were the best teammates that I've ever had, probably. So overall, that experience with the guys, that city, the coaching staff, and the school was fantastic.
And I believe there are, like, different levels to, like, D3 hockey. There's, like, 1, 2, and 3. Like, explain how that works. Because, like, I know, like, certain, like, schools, like Adrian College, like George Holt played there. There was, like, different, I don't know if it's levels, if I'm saying it correctly.
So there's NCAA college hockey, and there's ACHA, which isn't, ACHA isn't funded by the school. That's more through boosters or through alumni of that program. So Division III is NCAA, and ACHA is more of a personal thing. A lot of money comes out of the own players' pockets to fund that program.
Would it be kind of like a club team? Is
Yes.
that the best way?
Yes.
Awesome. And then kind of moving ahead, in 2022, you found your way here. And explain how that journey was going from, like we were just talking to, Vermilion City, now to the Motor City Rockers, where you are from Clawson, Michigan, so it's nice and home. So how was that journey?
It was tough. Like last year, I kind of bounced around a little bit to begin the season, going to a few of the SP camps, and then found home in Vermilion. It was not the best experience there. I don't think a lot of players have had great experiences there, but once I was released there, I kind of just shot Nick Field an email, and I knew they were kind of hurting for some guys. I knew Dante Suffredini already, so reached out to him as well and found a home at home.
And Dante's a common name that I'm hearing a lot. Like Vandy said that he knew Dante coming into the team. You're now saying you knew Dante. What was that? How did you meet Dante?
Dante is very well known in the Michigan community, in the Michigan hockey community. But I went to Trine my first semester of college, and I met Dante at Trine. Okay,
awesome. And so you and Vandy kind of have that similar path where you guys both got on the team through Dante and Nick Field. But you've came, obviously we know that you have came in and went a little bit this season. First to Pensacola with the Ice Flyers, and then with the Birmingham Bulls. Can you talk about how just like being all over the place this season's kind of been a blessing for you to get your name a little bit more out there in the hockey world?
Yeah, no, I think I do want to play at the next level. I want to play at the highest level, just as most people want to.
Yeah.
So just the more exposure you can get, the better it is for yourself personally. And I just think this year, getting that chance, I was a little bit more prepared, having a little bit of experience last year, and I helped grow my name this year.
And once you came back, you were right off to a rip. I think you had a goal in your first game back, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
So being able to come back after the journey you went on this season and have like almost an immediate impact, what does that say about you and this team?
I think it's definitely more so from the team, just like allowing me to come back and kind of maintain a role or fill back into a higher role than I was getting maybe in the SP. That's just a testament to the team that we have and the way that everybody collectively works together.
What is one aspect of your game you have a lot of pride in?
Skating. Definitely my skating. I think I'm a good skater, whether that's speed or agility.
And let's say for the kids at home that are aspiring to be pro hockey players one day, what's something that you worked on as a kid up until now that really got you to that point where your skating is in your head, what is one of your key abilities?
Honestly, it's just the fundamentals of skating. It's, skating is the most important skill. Obviously, this is the only sport that you need a skill to play in. So, like, you can't play hockey if you can't skate. And if you can't skate, you're not going to go very far. So it's just the basic fundamentals and then just kind of building off of that, finding your strengths, finding your weaknesses.
Being able to play near your hometown, what is your favorite aspect about playing here for Motor City?
That my family gets to come to my games. That was something that I had playing youth hockey for the Grizzlies. Like, my family was always there, and then once junior hockey started and college hockey started, the closest I played, I think, was a 6 or 7.5 hour drive. So just to have, them come to every game is always really special.
And you were number 11. What made you choose that number? Is there a funny reason?
I don't know if it's funny, but it's just because I'm a nerd and I love Stranger Things.
Okay.
And that's kind of number 11. Obviously, 11 is the main character in Stranger Things,
yeah.
And why not bring it into my hockey life a little bit?
So you're a Stranger Things guy.
Love it.
Are you excited for this upcoming season?
Couldn't be more excited.
What do you think's going to happen?
I think Will Byers is going to die. I think 11 is going to die. I think they're obviously going to save the world, but I don't know, I'm very invested. I think it's going to be a little bit more heart-wrenching than it's going to be more than happy ending.
And kind of going on a Stranger Things tangent, I mean, what is your favorite aspect of that show? Is it the fact that there are kids growing up right before your eyes, or is there something else that no one really...
I mean, that definitely factors into it, like just watching season 1 and just like seeing the pictures of it to seeing how they are now is obviously, that's fun, but I think I wasn't alive in the 80s, but the 80s nostalgia is it's incredible in that movie, and I know that's something my mom raves about the 80s, so just to kind of see a little bit of it is it's funny.
Were you, obviously last season, Eddie was, is that his name,
yeah.
correct? Eddie was one of the big breakout stars of the season last year.
Yeah.
What are your opinions on him and the explosive fan base that he got really quickly?
I think I liked Eddie. He was fun. He was a good comedic relief to the show. He was also kind of the whipping boy in the show for that season. I also think that he's not officially dead in the show. I think he's gonna make a little comeback.
You think you think he's gonna pull a little hopper on us?
I think he's gonna be revived in some form by Vecna and be like Vecna's worker boy, and then he's gonna turn on Vecna and make the final kill.
Oh boy! So that sounds like
that's my bold prediction.
You have a lot of high expectations for this last season.
I do.
Kind of. I guess we're getting to know you a little bit. I think being able to, we have another part with the players where we kind of get to know them on a personal level. On the get to know you video, probably earlier this season, or it was a post for you. You explained your hidden talent was drawing. How did did you grow up drawing? Are you an artistic person, or what?
It used to be more so in high school. I wouldn't say I'm like a great drawer by any means, but I can definitely get the job done. I took art for 3 years at Clawson, and my art teacher was fantastic. Gave me a lot of inspiration, but I just found a lot of joy, a lot of good relief, and some almost therapeutic energy from art.
And do you have like a specific style, or when you draw, are you more of like a cartoony, or are you realistic?
I like to be as realistic as possible because I don't know, that's probably just the way that I am, more of a perfectionist, but I'm not the greatest at doing it.
Yeah, and obviously there are a lot of famous drawers. Is there a specific drawer that you kind of look for inspiration, or is drawing just something that you just like and it's not really that deep?
It's not that deep. I just like to do it. More just like a little doodle here and there if I got a pen and paper nearby. But if there are any artists that I do like, I really do enjoy Van Gogh. Van Gogh? Yeah. I did that like immersive experience when it was here in Detroit. I think it was last year.
Yeah.
And it just, it was an experience.
Do you have a favorite piece of his?
Almond Tree.
Okay.
Almond.
All right. I'll have to look it up because I'm not familiar with that one. Obviously you're from Michigan. Were the Red Wings your favorite team growing up?
Always.
So, are you excited about this season with them? What are your thoughts? I mean, we just lost yesterday as we were recording this to the Capitals. We're looking like we're potentially out. What are your thoughts on this season so far?
I think they got to win out right now. I don't think they're in a bad spot. I think that's only 1 point right now. They obviously had their own control. They made their own fate when they went on that little 7 or 8 game skid.
Yeah.
But I don't know. A lot to look forward to for the future.
Oh yeah, and do you think with guys like Patrick Kane being on the roster, do you think he's coming back next year?
I hope so. I know him and DeBrincat obviously have a lot of chemistry, so that's a huge help. He's making the push. He's the guy here. Everything goes through Patrick Kane, so it's kind of hard for him to want to leave that.
Is it weird seeing Patrick Kane in a Red Wings uniform instead of a Blackhawks uniform?
Still freaks me out to this day.
If you were told your 12-year-old self Patrick Kane's going to be a Red Wing one day, what do you think he would say?
I'd be thrilled. He was one of my favorite players growing up. I have a couple of Patrick Kane Blackhawks jerseys too.
Really?
Yeah. So
you got to hide them when you go to the games, though.
Yeah.
So you mentioned you have a couple favorite players. Who was your favorite player?
Nick Lidstrom.
Okay.
Just a smooth skating defenseman. Didn't hit ever, really. Didn't need to. He was just so good with his stick. Just such a smart player. Good leader. Obviously, he's the perfect person is what they call him. And it's kind of what I used to try to watch all the time was Nick Lidstrom.
And is there any player in the NHL that you kind of like to replicate your game after?
I do like to watch a lot of Quinn Hughes. I think he's a good skater. Similar size, similar build. But he's obviously doing it a little bit better at a little bit higher level than I am, but he's definitely somebody that I like to look after.
Okay. And obviously you got the Hughes brothers and all of them. All of them are very different in their own way. When you're not outside of hockey, outside of drawing, what is your favorite thing to do in your free time?
I really like to hang out with my family. 2 of my sisters, have had a child recently. One of them is 6 now, and the other is just turned 1. So they're fun to hang out with. My whole family is just kind of what I like to do. I just love hanging out with them. We're all best friends, so very close group.
So you're Uncle Nick to them, a couple of kids, huh?
Yeah, something like that.
Would you say you're a good uncle?
When I'm present, yeah.
Yeah, I'm too young to my sister's way too young.
Yeah.
Hopefully not have kids. But what is your favorite all-time hockey moment?
Probably
Motor City winning the cup.
That's to be determined.
TBD.
That's coming. Probably winning a national championship my U16 year with the Grizzlies. It was really fun. Really good group. Still talk to a few of those guys. Some of those guys are still playing hockey to this day at high levels. So just looking back, that's probably one of the things we knew going into the season that we were going to be one of the top teams, and it was nice to just accomplish that goal.
So I unfortunately have never won a championship in the sports I played. Only championships I've won is Super Bowl and Madden.
Pretty good.
What is it like? I mean, just explain the feeling of getting the job done.
When it is done, it's more so a relief than anything. Not that there's a negative pressure to it, but it is wow, we could work this hard and we came together, and as a group we did it, and we know we did it. So it's just nice to be able to accomplish something, and you can have that wow, you can just take it in. It's the moment after that is more exciting than actually winning it.
And speaking about championships, we hear a lot about superstitions and that certain players need their tape sticked a certain way, and you have to eat this, and this that day, or you have to sleep for this amount of hours. Are there certain superstitions that you have carried on from back when you won to now?
None. I'm not a very superstitious guy.
No.
I talk about me and Vandy talk about this all the time. I love to try out new things, whether that's different tape job on the stick, a different handle, or different equipment. I'm all about it. So it's just kind of it's good to have a routine, but it's not good to live by a routine and that your whole day's ruined if some little part of it goes bad.
Is there a superstition you've seen on this team or your juniors team or your college team where you're just like, what the hell is that guy doing?
I'll have to think on that for a second, but there are some really weird ones out there. There are some pretty crazy guys. I know there's one guy in my junior career, and he would not touch the soccer ball, but he would have to warm up with the team with the group that plays soccer. He loved to be with them, but he would never touch the ball, and if it hit him, he would just lose his mind.
Oh my gosh.
So it's just kind of,
don't
put yourself in that situation. You won't have to worry about
it. So we're going to kind of carry on to looking ahead for this weekend playoffs, looking forward. So right now, we're going into play Port Huron. We obviously beat them in the Battle Line 94. What do you think, obviously, we've beaten them before. What do you think is different going into this week that we need to focus on?
I think this week is going to, our playoff position's pretty solidified who we're going to play. Not necessarily where or when, but the who is figured out. So I think this week, especially in practice, having the bye week last week, it's just a lot about our details and getting on the same page with everything. Like, this is the time to have those last-minute questions. This is the time to figure everything out so we're all together working as a cohesive group.
And Port Huron's been a team that you guys have loved to scrap with all year. It's been a very, I'd say, physical game every time you've played them. What is it with Port Huron that just gets on your guys' nerves?
Seeing their faces 18 times. I know that's nothing against the guys personally. That's just that's whoever it is, whatever team that would be, whether it be Wytheville or Columbus or Binghamton. It doesn't matter who it is. You play a team that many times, there's going to be bad blood.
And you've kind of gotten, I wouldn't say into some scraps, but you've kind of gotten in some guys' faces a couple of times this year where they might try and start stuff, but you're just sitting there smiling. Like, how do you carry that attitude and not get frustrated with people like that?
I think it shows more just they can do whatever they think they can do, and we're just going to sit there, take it, and we're just going to beat you on the scoreboard. It's not obviously it's a physical game, but we're going to beat you up a little bit just to get those wins. Like, we're not fazed by the antics.
And speaking about beating them up, I mean, Gordy's talked about this numerous times that this team is very physical. How is that played out? And explain how Gordy's coached you guys in that physicality.
It's definitely something that he emphasizes. It's something that we also want. Here in Fraser, we don't have the most forgiving boards, so if we can use that to our advantage, just knocking the guys into it, it just makes it easier for us, creates a little bit more time and space. And, when Gordy tells us that, and then when we execute it, you can see the time and space it creates for ourselves. So everybody likes that, especially when we're playing hockey, just so we can be a little bit more offensive.
And obviously, we talked about the standings a little bit. Right now, we are up on Danbury, 91-89. Last time in Danbury, we split the series 1-1. What, going into this playoff push against Danbury, what do you think? Obviously, certain names are no longer with the team anymore. And what do you think is different with Danbury now versus, I don't know if you watched them at all since we played them last, versus now?
With Danbury?
Yeah.
I haven't gotten to watch very many of their games. That's more of a next week kind of focus on their systems for that playoff push. But honestly, it doesn't even matter who they have, who they don't have. Like, we just want to win, and we're going to do whatever it takes to win, especially at this time of the year. So it doesn't matter if we're playing Danbury or Watertown or Binghamton. Whoever, we'll take anybody in the division right now.
And we played, not last week, but the week prior, we played Columbus and Binghamton. Huge games for you guys, sweeping the weekend against two of the top teams in the league, so the standings say. What do you guys think that our team, compared to any other team, what makes us different, and what do you think is going to kind of solidify and kind of push us to that championship position?
I can't really speak too much on other teams just because I don't have the personal experience there, but I will say we probably have the least amount of negative things that our own players say. Like, when we have friends on other teams, we just have such a close group, and I think we're really fighting for each other and we're pulling the rope together. I think that's the biggest thing, that a lot of these teams are kind of more selfish, a little bit more self-based, doing it for themselves. So I think our group is really good at, we want to win, but we want to win it together, not because an individual wants to win. And
statistics even kind of show that. I mean, we don't have like a leading scorer in the league, or we don't have a guy with 107 points on our team, but we have guys that have a point a game in Scott Koash. We have guys like you who make plays from the blue line whenever you can. Jameson Milam and Josh Colton, who are first team All-Stars this year in the Continental Division, and Vandy's calling me. right now. I don't know what I did, but but I'm going to continue the question and I'll call him back. But how did that culture get cemented to you guys to where you guys don't need to be the star? You don't need to be the guy that's getting 107 points on a season.
I think it started last year and having so many returners this year from last year's team. And then, we kind of set the tone from day one that we want to have a fun experience, and we want to have a fun experience together. And that is because the amount of guys that we brought back is unlike what it is year to year for most teams. I think we lost 4 guys from last year's team. Obviously, we've lost some more as the year progressed, but I just think having that foundation to start the year was perfect.
Diaz, I'm really excited for you guys going into the rest of the season and into the playoffs. Is there anything to the fans that you want to just say real quick?
No, we absolutely love the support. The place gets rocking. It couldn't be a more fun time when we do get as many people as we can, but we would really, really love to see everybody out here for playoffs.
All right, Diaz, thank you, and congratulations on a great season.
Thank you so much.